So again, I think the way I want to play it is very similar to the way I played the earlier
Very
fund.
interesting.
Yeah, again, do about 150 crore kind of a fund, deploy quickly, and really, come to a point where you say, okay, so I think the 4 year sort of window that you have to deploy, you really do finesse your understanding, because also that ecosystem is also evolving at the same time as you are.
That makes sense.
And that cross section really, I think, leads to some good
So
investments.
how are you splitting the capital? Like 150 crores, is it just all one check, or is it like, are you doing follow-ons? How are you splitting
No,
it
no,
up?
we do follow-ons. See,
So
again,
usually your first check would be how much?
so it's been a bit opportunistic so far.
I mean, I understand because of that.
Yeah,
But what is you typically
I
targeting
mean,
now?
it could be anything. I mean, we've done very small checks also, but I would say roughly about 3 to 4 crores is what we like to do as a first check.
And you're holding 10-15%?
Roughly 10. I mean, 15 becomes, and we also don't want to go too deep into, when the pricing gets too expensive.
Right.
So we try and not go above 10. I mean, we have gone above 10 in some cases, but I think that was more a case because of COVID, because we had to support some companies. Some of the companies were so young and we had just put in money. They couldn't, I mean, we thought they wouldn't survive unless we sort of, gave them a little bit more money. So you also have to respond to what's happening in your
True.
external environment. So again, one thing I think in venture, which is considered an absolute no-no in the US, is that you wait for external validation after your sort of first check. But again, I think India is a atypical market because there isn't so much capital available. So, and again, we are a more shallow market compared to the US. I mean, we are playing in a $3.5 trillion pool. They play in a $45 trillion sort of market. So it does take time for founders to come to what I would call product market fit. And when I say product market fit, it's not that the way it's, I think, understood in the US. Here, I think you need to see a little bit more to really know what's working, right? And the only people who are going to give you more capital is your existing investors, because by that time they have more confidence in the
Right.
founder, right? I mean, for a new investor to come in, they're going to ask all the hard questions, and rightly so. So I do feel that in India we do need to relook at this, that we'll do one round and let somebody else come in and price it.
Interestingly enough, Archana, I think that mindset is changing, because when we started investing in 12-13, we had a very clear thesis. 3 round karna hi hai, right? 1, 2, 3 has to happen. Decision is whether we want to do the next 2 or not, right? But at least all the conversations that I'm having now, everybody is now saying I have to reserve, and maybe the ideal would have been 20 at seed and 80 at follow on.
Yeah.
But people are getting to 50-50, some are getting to 60-40, whatever that number is. But they're understanding that follow on needs to happen.
Yeah.
But it was a very angel mindset, very rare, by the way. I've not seen this anywhere else in the world. But India was a very rare angel mindset कि 1 round करो और भूल जाओ, right? फिर वो जिएगा मरेगा उसके ऊपर है. हाँ.
But I mean, we are still undercapitalized as a country, right? And especially for the startup ecosystem. So you can't again play by the same rules that the US has set.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you don't want to drink your own Kool-Aid. You don't want to, sort of hide the problems in a startup, and you don't want to give money.
No, be discerning. I'm just saying that, angels, at least in the US, the way because I spent about 12 years there, they are willing to back a company up to Series A, and they'll write incrementally bigger checks. I've actually seen angels do an entire Series A themselves also.